Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. This is more proof that it's not just you and me that think XRP makes a lot of sense. It's everyone that finds out that it exists, except for the toxic Bitcoin Maximus. At least it feels like that. Look at this headline from the Crypto Basic. Bitwise CIO confirms there is massive demand for XRP ETF. You don't say. And so this is a firm that is growing quickly, let's say. They wouldn't be doing this if there weren't genuine, organic demand for XRP, but there most certainly is. Again, it's not just you and I that think it makes sense. I went to their website and I found this page highlighting that Bitcoin crosses $5 billion in assets under management. And they're up 400% last year. So good for them. They're up pretty substantially there. And they don't get to that point, and they don't have not just growing assets under management, but a client base by making dumb decisions. They know that XRP makes sense. They know that they can make money based on customer transactions, and they want a slice. Can you blame them? Sure as hell no. So I want to run through this with you, but yes, there's very clearly obvious demand for XRP that's only going to grow. Then we also have this, and this is going to be a fun one. My God, what a train wreck this guy is. Here's the headline. Finance veteran Gary Cardone sells entire XRP portfolio, shares 6 reasons for his exit. I'll just tell you this at the outset. How do they get away with calling this guy a finance veteran? Because I will just tell you this. His 6 reasons, and he wrote them he displayed these reasons as though there's some sort of doctrine that he's been living by for like the last several decades. And first of all, I don't believe that's the case. Second of all, it looks to me like the person that wrote that, I would guess that it's somebody who's new to investing, let's say. But this is a successful entrepreneur who has world fame. All right. We'll get to it. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, into this first piece. The push for an XRP exchange-traded fund is gaining momentum as Bitwise Chief Investment Officer Matt Hogan confirms growing investor demand. In a CNBC interview, Hogan was asked to comment on the demand for an XRP ETF. The host mentioned less demand for Ethereum ETFs than Bitcoin, but noted that there is increasing adoption. And so the host asked, what does the outlook look like for an XRP fund? And so, by the way, I want to note this too, because this infuriates toxic Bitcoin maximalists. And for instance, you can bring up, for instance, and I will right now, because this is my channel, damn it, and I do what I want. Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy, and by the way, I don't know if you caught this. I don't think I've mentioned it on my channel yet because it doesn't matter that much, but he renamed his company from, I don't know, I don't know the process behind getting this approved, but his company was renamed from MicroStrategy to Strategy. There you go. It's cleaner, right? Anyway, so he insisted, when did this happen? I mean, this could have been, it was at some point within the last couple years, but he was saying this, it might have been around the time that the Bitcoin ETF got approved. It was probably right around then, but I'd have to go do a quick Google search to verify. But he said, there's no way that you're going to be seeing another ETF. No, it's because Bitcoin's the one. It's the only true money. You won't be seeing an Ethereum ETF or an XRP. And I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, no, you're not going to see that happen. Well, it was hilarious because then months later, what he said wouldn't happen, happened. And there is an Ethereum ETF. And you're going to see way more, including for XRP here. They hate that this is going to happen, but the market wants it. Anyway, piece continues. In response, Hogan stressed that there is a massive demand for a regulated XRP investment product in the US. He backed up his view by citing 2 major factors. First, Hogan highlighted that XRP has maintained a strong and dedicated community over the years. Moreover, he pointed out that the asset routinely garners significant trading volume on centralized exchanges. Yeah, so I would say this. We're one of the largest communities, the XRP army here, one of the largest in crypto, and certainly the best. because we're not toxic maximalists. We're not. We're just regular people who see that from all walks of life that XRP is actually a pretty damn good investment decision because it just freaking works and offers utility. How about that? It's not a cult. It's not a religion to us. We just think it makes sense from an investment perspective. Then you go to the Bitcoin side. It's nothing but toxic max. Well, not literally. There are exceptions, but there are tons of maximalists over there on that side. It's like their way of life. It's their self-identity is how these people view it. But you can have a community without all that toxic nonsense. And here we are. And it's nice. Like he sees, yeah, we're huge. But we're here because there's utility. If XRP didn't make sense, there wouldn't just randomly be this community assorted of these humans all talking to each other. It's because XRP specifically makes sense. Anyway, piece continues. For context, CoinMarketCap data shows XRP registered a $3.74 billion volume over the past day and $33 billion for the last 7 days. The figures exceed $162 billion in the monthly time frame. And by the way, I will note, as far as the daily, that's like 4 times higher than what it was normally at any given point throughout like last year. It's substantially higher right now. Anyway, piece continues. Given this substantial market activity, Hogan remarked, and this is a quote, "I think people would love to find a way to hold XRP in a simple, low-cost, easy-to-use ETP structure." End quote. And by the way, that's not a typo, just to be clear. So an ETF is a type of ETP. And so anyway, piece continues. The second major factor influencing optimism about an XRP ETF is the shifting regulatory position of the SEC. Specifically, Hogan pointed out that the US SEC has become more receptive to discussions around new crypto assets under the current administration. This contrasts with the more restrictive approach seen in previous years, particularly when discussing staking or in-kind issues. He expressed optimism that the evolving regulatory landscape could lead to the approval of not only XRP ETFs, but also other crypto-focused products, including Solana ETFs. Notably, the SEC has acknowledged 6 XRP ETF filings, including from Bitwise, Grayscale, and WisdomTree. And so I'd highlighted a bunch of that in recent videos. But he knows that it's coming. And by the way, another thing that was exciting, which actually I do mention at the end of this article right here, is that it's going to get a lot easier to purchase, to get exposure anyway to the crypto asset class for people who don't want to actually purchase crypto themselves. Maybe they have no interest in taking self-custody. And there's going to be a lot of people that just don't want to do that. They don't want to learn how. Okay, but they do want exposure. And I happen to have actually been talking about this in my last video. I was like, just like you have the, an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, you're going to have the same types of things in the crypto space. And so here he wrote, a lot of people, this is what he said, this is Matt Hogan, a lot of people want to make a generalized bet on crypto, and I'm hopeful we'll get that by the end of this year, end quote. And so what he was talking about is an ETF that basically it's an index one. It's just track large cap cryptos. Undoubtedly, of course, XRP would be a part of that. So you could buy an ETF, get broad exposure, and you can set whatever the parameters would be, but the large caps, a lot of them are going to be in there. It's just going to be that much more money flowing into XRP. And to be clear, when you're talking about an ETF product, they have to be backed by the actual item. In this case, XRP. That's why this is a big deal here. All right, now let's talk about this numbnut. Finance veteran Gary Cardone sells entire XRP portfolio, shares 6 reasons for his exit. Okay, so there's been some hilarity. There's been a bit of, I don't even want to call it drama. It's just hilariousness. Over the last few days, I've made videos about this, but here's all you need to know in case you miss this. There have been a number of polls that have been run by people on social media platform X, where it's basically the type of question would be something like, what is your favorite crypto? And then there would be several options, and then one's Bitcoin, one's XRP, and there's a couple others. And XRP keeps winning these polls. And so more Bitcoin maximalists, hilariously, they keep running them themselves, thinking, oh, this can't be right. Surely something's wrong, or the question could have been worded better. And then invariably they run the poll, and XRP just keeps winning. And then when XRP keeps winning, they keep claiming that it's actually bots are the reason. So we're not real humans. It's actually just bots that are causing this to happen, which is ridiculous. It just happens to be the case that the XRP community freaking lives on X, where these polls are being conducted. So it's, I wouldn't have guessed that we'd be winning so many polls since the Bitcoin community is so much bigger, but we are. I mean, and mind you, like the Bitcoin community, they're way more Bitcoin holders than XRP holders, which, by the way, to me represents opportunity. Because by the time everybody agrees XRP makes sense, well, the opportunity for the life-changing wealth, it will be gone by then. But anyway, so Gary Cardone's one of them, and he's kind of a famous guy. I think his brother's more famous, Grant Cardone, for doing all sorts of entrepreneurial stuff. And anyway, setting aside what they're actually doing, let's just get into what he said here. And this post, so this one's from January 25th. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but almost 500,000 views. And he highlighted that even though he claims that XRP, it's lacking decentralization, he decided to buy XRP. And you know what he bought? He bought 31,000 shares of XRP. That's right. He bought shares of XRP. He didn't buy the coin. He didn't buy he bought shares of it. Here's a finance guru, let me tell you that. But so I guess what did he buy his XRP shares with all the other businesses he bought that day on the New York Stock Exchange? I guess so, because reasons. It's hilarious. Like, so that is something. Like, I will give somebody who's new to investing a pass for that easily, very easily, right? Especially if you just jumped into crypto, you'd be used to using that type of terminology. He is supposed to be, I'm sorry, what did they call him over here on the Crypto Basic? A finance veteran buying shares of a cryptocurrency? Harder to give him a pass. But anyway, his average buying price was $1.45. And so after he ran a poll himself where XRP was winning, he ended up deciding, I don't know how far we got in. I don't know if it was like 12 hours into the poll and it was going to be live for 24 hours, something like that. And tens of thousands of people voted, over 40,000 I saw. And XRP dramatically winning. So he just deleted it. He just decided to delete it before it finished. And then after that, so I guess he's sour because he sounds like the Bitcoin maxi type. Even if he'll buy other stuff, he thinks that Bitcoin's the one because reasons. So he's in that echo chamber. But anyway, so after deleting that, I think that he got a bit sour on XRP, and I don't think he liked some of the interactions he had with the community because we make sense. And once you're in that Bitcoin echo chamber, it's hard to get out. You know what I'm saying? He seems to have some XRP derangement syndrome. And so he shared this post then, just last night, explaining that he was selling XRP and giving reasons why. He's sharing his sage wisdom with all of us. Yes, please drop this knowledge on me, Gary Cardone. Let me learn of the knowledge in your very smart brain here. And again, like I was saying at the outset of this video, these rules that he shared here, there's 6 of them. This is not... He wrote it as though it's something like he's been living by for decades, but he clearly just made this up on the fly. And they're stupid, and there's a little bit of overlap in some of them, so it's not very concise anyway. And it just seems like somebody who's new to crypto wrote this. Not some sort of guru. And so here's what he said. Dumped XRP position today at $2.71. Okay, so at least he made a profit. I mean, I don't think this thing's done. But here's how negative he is. Check this out. He says, I genuinely hope the XRP army gets stupid rich. I don't think you will, but my best hopium is out to each of you. Oh, Gary, you don't think, who are you talking to? Like, I'm one of the people you're talking to. I'm not going to get rich. Do you know that there are so many people out there that have been holding XRP for years and years and years, and a lot of us actually don't need it to go much higher to get filthy rich? Did ya know that? Did ya know that? Because that's a lot of us. It's been around alive for 12 years now. People have already gotten rich. In the first cycle where it went nuts, people already got filthy rich from it. They bought it at half a penny or less, and then it went to over $3. And then obviously throw out last cycle because of the SEC nonsense, there was no chance there. But now there's this time. And then there's people like me that had accumulated. For instance, my average buying price for XRP is 25 cents. I can't get rich. There's a lot of people in my boat. And so whether you paid more or less than me, that's not exactly the point of me stating this. It's more so to question, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Does he not understand how big our community is and how long we've been around? This is not some sort of fly-by-night thing. This is a real thing that's been around for over a decade. And if he thinks it's not going to go higher, he is sorely mistaken. And I'll tell you this, a real finance executive, who I just highlighted, Matt Hogan with Bitwise, he disagrees with this assessment. XRP, yeah, ultimately number go up. But then he wrote, but my best hopium is out to each of you. Oh, it's so sincere, oozing with sincerity. You really hope I get rich. Okay, thank you, Gare Bear. And then he says, for anyone wanting to understand my decision, it's very simply, my 40 years of experience has taught me certain lessons that I don't violate. Now, folks, so this would lead you to believe, like, he has strong conviction about this, and he's implemented this. He's done it for a really long time, okay? Keep that in mind as I read these to you. Rule number 1. If I cannot understand the supply/demand dynamics unless I have a serious edge, do not get involved. Holy freaking hell. I read that, and so I was like, oh, it's only going to go downhill from here. I was like, I read one rule, and already I just want to ask him if he has the internet. And I know he does. Well, actually, maybe I'm making an assumption there. Maybe he's hired somebody who does have access to the internet to type this for him. Maybe he doesn't even at home. Maybe he doesn't even use electricity. Maybe he doesn't, and he's counting on word from other people and messages to come in via carrier pigeon. Maybe that's it. It could be. It could be. That's possible. Or he's using the internet as he types this, and he can learn these things about the supply and demand dynamics. Did you know that the XRP ledger is decentralized and it's a public blockchain, and you can see what the wallets hold and what the quantities are? And it's pseudonymous, so it doesn't mean that there's a name attached to everything, but you can see what they are. Did you know you can see what the circulating supplies? Have you heard of CoinMarketCap? Have you heard of Live CoinWatch? No? Are these things new to you? Really? So you can't understand the supply and demand dynamics. And you can't see how much XRP is held by various exchanges, because they're typically very public about that. So that, and so to be clear also, on top of that, because the knowledge is very obviously public, why then did you buy XRP in the first place? You sold it because this wasn't so you don't have clarity on the supply and demand dynamics for XRP, so you sold it. Then why did you have it in the first place? You just got done talking about your 40 years of experience and what it's taught you, except for in recent months you bought XRP. What? Did your brain process stuff? Did you think through any of this before publishing it? I'm skeptical. Or maybe he was just hammered out of his mind. That's possible. I don't know. What's he doing? I have no idea. So that's rule 1. It doesn't get better, though. It doesn't get better. Let's talk about rule 2. Here's rule 2 from Gary Cardone, the finance veteran. If others cannot explain it in a very understandable way and or cannot draw it on a whiteboard, don't do it. Okay, so a lot of problems here. So if other people don't understand it, then that's a sign that you shouldn't buy it because other people are too stupid to understand a thing. If they can't explain it. I mean, it's like, how much do you want to dumb this down? In theory, like, he would claim that he knows about Bitcoin. So you could, like, how much should I dumb it down? I can make it very simple. How about this? Let's try this one on for size. The creators of XRP were early developers of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin blockchain. They saw that there would be scaling issues, so they decided to create a new version of Bitcoin that wouldn't have those scaling issues. They succeeded. It is called XRP. Does that work? Like, that's dumbed down, and there's a whole lot more I could say. Is that sufficiently clear? Or do we need to go down and explain what a cryptocurrency is to this guy? Do I need to go to the cryptocurrency description level and talk about distributed ledger systems and centralized authorities versus the benefits of having a decentralized ecosystem where there is no counterparty risk? How far do we need to go down? This is not hard to understand. It's a better version of Bitcoin, and it has more bells and whistles and does stuff. And it fulfills Satoshi Nakamoto's vision of a peer-to-peer cash system. It just works. Settlement in real time. Transactions so cheap they might as well be free. All the stuff that Bitcoin can't do that he wishes Bitcoin could do. So how much detail do you want? I can explain very concisely with as much detail as you like, Gary. But you didn't have the internet to figure out any of this, though. Because again, he says, if others cannot explain it in a very understandable way and or cannot draw it on a whiteboard, don't do it. You don't even need to draw this on a whiteboard. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? If not, why not? This is not hard to understand here. But again, if others can't explain, what's that have to do with your comprehension of it? How about you go learn what it is and you spit out the knowledge then? That's a rule to live by, and your 40 years of experience taught you this? Are you sure? Because that's a little bit embarrassing in my estimation. But let's go to rule 3. Let's check out rule 3. What's going on rule 3, Gare Bear? What's going on here? All right, rule 3 is avoid people who know the price of everything but the value of nothing. Now this one is hilarious to me because he just got finished demonstrating that he doesn't understand XRP and the XRP ecosystem, but he demonstrated very clearly that he does know the market price. He bought it at $1.45. He shared that publicly. He sold it at $2.71. So he knows the price. He knows the price, but he does not understand the value, which is indeed separate from the price. Unless you're talking about a market value, in which that case that's price. But if you're talking about the value, you're talking about the utility of something in the world of crypto, right? Avoid people. You just told us to avoid you, Gary. You just described yourself here. Avoid people who know the price of everything but the value of nothing. That's you, Gary. That is absolutely you. That is hilarious to me. I love this. I hope he starts a new series where he writes up these stupid rules, but then they don't make sense and they apply to him when they aren't supposed to, and they're not coherent. But he just like posted it. I'll just share them. I'll make a whole new channel just covering what he says. That would be just pure magic in my mind. Let's go on to rule 4 now. Never confuse short-term noise with a long-term investment /plan/goal. Don't worry, Gary. I'm not going to let you. You're the noise in this. You're the noise. This is very long-term. As I stated, XRP has been live for 12 freaking years. That is a long-term. Like for people that I've been holding XRP for over 7 years. That's a long-term investment, and I have had my own personal plan and my own personal goals. You're the short-term noise. You've been here for a few months. Didn't you buy at some point? When? Like November? Did you buy in November? December? Like you're new. You're the new one. You're the short-term. You weren't interested in XRP when it was like 25, 50 cents. You weren't interested in around then. And it was public like you're supposed to be some sort of you're a finance veteran. You are established in the world of crypto, right? You should have known about XRP. You weren't interested in it until it became worth more than it was before. You're the type of person that I've been describing for years. You're displaying investment behavior that new investors display. That's what new investors do. They go chase a thing that's shiny and it's a green candle. That's what they do. You're the short-term noise, Gary, not us. And then we got rule number 5 here. Great wealth is made by highly consolidated bets and investments that are made over long periods of time. Oh, is that right? Then why'd you sell after a couple months, Gary? and again, he's not living by these rules. And he crafted this and like you would think, at least when you start reading this, 40 years of experience. Oh, I'm going to get some alpha out of this. There's going to be some sage wisdom up in this mofo. And then you find out that he's describing stuff not to do that he himself has recently done. Yesterday. Like, so great wealth is made by highly consolidated bets and investments that are made over a long period of time. You know how wealth is made for most people, actually? It's literally not that. It's broad exposure to markets. That's true. The people that get wealthy, outside of if you're talking about like some entrepreneurial thing, outside of that, you know how regular people get wealthy? You invest and you do it consistently for long periods of time. Like ETFs into the S&P 500. That's how you do it. That's pretty much it. Yes, that would be it. Not even individual stock picking, frankly. And so in crypto, you know it makes sense? Broad exposure to the market. XRP happens to be my largest holding and my favorite cryptocurrency, but what actually makes sense is broad exposure over long periods of time. That's it. Highly consolidated bets. Is that your wisdom for the everyday person? So they're supposed to like beat the market? Because that's effectively what you're advising them to do. You know, pick the ones, the couple of winners there. That will not serve most people. Because then you're telling people, yeah, you go do that. You have better, because understand, when you're talking about the market cap of all these coins, that's the sum of all human knowledge and opinions on a global scale. Because people are voting with their dollars or whatever fiat currency they're using. And that's how you jockey for a position based on market cap. The more people throw money into something, the higher something's going to be in market cap, and hence the rankings, right? So if he's telling you that you should make the highly consolidated bets, He's saying just blanket wisdom out there. This is his blanket wisdom. Do that, highly consolidated, and that's it? And you're going to outsmart the market? You know what's funny is, like, in a way, I understand that when it comes to crypto, you do kind of have to make your own index effectively if you want to have broad exposure. So I certainly acknowledge that. And you do have to do some picking as a result. It's not as easy as buying an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, but you can do something similar in nature, right? Why then would XRP not be a part of that? He is giving some of the worst financial advice that you could ever possibly give. That's obviously true. This is very bad financial advice. This is not built for anyone. It's just stuff that he's saying. And then you get to rule number 6, never follow the crowd. Never. And then he wrote in parentheses, should be rule number 1. Well, Gary, is it your list? Could you just renumber them and put number 6 and number 1 and then make number 1 number 2 and number 2 number 3, so on and so forth? Can you not do that? Do you know about the copy and paste function on computers? You know, he actually might not. What the hell? What am I talking? No, he doesn't know that. He has no idea what cut and paste is. He has no idea. If I said that to him, he'd envision glue, definitely some sort of paste product and scissors. That's what would go into his mind. That's what would happen if I even said that to him. Like, the what? Never follow the crowd, huh? That's funny you say that, Gary, because you did. You followed the crowd. You are aware of XRP. You've looked at CoinMarketCap before. And then it wasn't until the crowd got interested and the price got higher that you decided to buy it at $1.45 instead of at 50 cents, which you could have done right before the election. That's what you did. You followed the crowd. You did all these things that you said you shouldn't do. Maybe relive the last 40 years. Can you do that? Because I don't think you actually learned a damn thing. It sure as hell doesn't seem like it. And that's why I really like this. I like this reply to Gary Cardone on this post. It's just because what a heaping pile of trash. So Bobby, he is one of the guys that accurately called that XRP was going to break out to the upside this cycle. So Bobby wrote to Gary Cardone and he said, dude, you bought green candles. I don't remember you ever mentioning XRP when it was gobble season, sub 25 cents. You're as retail as they come. That is spot on. That's what I'm saying. This is like a new investor. You would expect a new investor to talk like this. That is exactly what you would do. And then here he shared this screen grab of his sell order for XRP. Is worth $81,300. And then it looks like he scribbled this out on Microsoft Paint, I guess. What? So he was trying to hide this stuff, and another account pointed out, I can't remember who, I just give credit, that he didn't mask the bottom part here. You can see the percentage of his portfolio that makes up the United States dollar, and then you can do some math to figure out that his account is actually worth a little over $600,000. But he scribbled it with Microsoft Paint. I'm sorry, finance veteran? This guy's a finance veteran. Are you sure about that? You sure about that? I'm thinking probably not. I'm thinking absolutely not. I'm thinking that the price of XRP, given enough time, is just going to go higher and higher and higher. Despite obvious pullbacks and bubbles will be formed, same with Bitcoin, same history, same type of stuff that's happened throughout history. But he's wrong. I think you fast forward another decade, then another 2 decades, and you'll see XRP's thriving because it just makes sense. And it was one of the early movers, so it's been adopted for all of these things that Bitcoiners claim they care about, but don't actually. In terms of functionality and utility. Because Bitcoin is the pet rock of crypto. It doesn't do stuff, but it is first, so it's there because reasons. Not even say reasons. A reason it was first. That's it. There's just that one. That's the one. That's it. All right, that's Gary Cardone, everybody. I hope this actually ends the saga. Just like every day there's something new to talk about, but he's not going to cap this off, right? Like, this is it, right? This is the final time that we've got to talk about Gary Cardone ever, right? I'm hoping so. I don't know, not really. I mean, if he does say more crap, like, it is fun. Like, it's fun to discuss this. It's just, he fancies himself some sort of guru, and it's just, he's like the most noob person you could ever see type stuff about crypto or finance on the internet. It's just shocking to me. It's like, I don't pretend to be some sort of guru. I certainly am not. I'm not I have no finance background. I'm just a regular guy. I can run circles around him. And that's not to brag on me. Like I'm average. Like I'm a dude. I'm good at following through with very basic stuff, like, not letting my emotions get to me. I just don't have them anymore. That's been my choice. And then I don't FOMO into stuff. I don't panic. It's just panic style. It's very basic stuff. He doesn't get these things. He FOMO'd into XRP, not understanding it, and then he sold it when he didn't like the community. So the emotions got to him there too. It's just hilarious. All right. I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.